Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Freeman Files here on the J Free 906 podcast channel. Tom and Seth, how you guys doing tonight?
Doing fantastic. Thank you very much. Winter tires are on, ready for the season.
Winter tires are on. All right. Oh man, I know. I winter tires. You don't need those down there, huh, Seth? Yeah.
I before the show started and we were talking about it, that's the first I've ever heard of it.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, total. I mean, I've driven outside of Texas, but I never knew there was you changed your tires. I thought all season meant all season.
Well,
It
no.
does.
People believe you can use them for all seasons. However, they call them winter tires for a reason.
Yes.
Well, see, now I know if I ever live outside of Texas, I need to invest in winter tires.
Anything below Ohio, I would say, probably doesn't know anything about it. Yeah, being up in the UP of Michigan, we did winter tires because in the wintertime you needed them, and you could.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we never get into the topic, Seth, of studded tires either. So
yeah, we weren't allowed to use those anymore after the years.
Yeah, someone in the chat said studded tires in West Virginia.
Yeah, I think there's some states where you can still use studded tires.
We can use them here, but there has to be between, I think it's like November 15th to April 1st or something.
Yeah, it's limited.
Have to be off because they rip the heck out of the roads.
Yeah. We did in Maine. All right. Let us know where you're from. Hi from Colorado. All right. Hi, Colorado. Joe is
there's Tara Lorraine PEI. She's had her tires on for a week.
Yep. Colorado. Roy. Hi, Roy. How you doing? Ghost of Bacon. Jake's here. Hi, Jake.
Hey,
Houston, Missouri, and Arkansas. All right. He's saying you can there. Okay. East Tennessee. All right. Tonight, I wanted to let you guys know a little bit about a couple of things. Don't forget, tomorrow night, we have a special guest. We are having David Neeson. And David is going to be here talking, about this.
But you see, what you need actually is this. This is the Reader's Digest version.
The Reader's Digest version. Yes. Well, a lot.
I'm not reading all that.
But we're gonna have David on. We're gonna try. We're gonna get all through this in about an hour tomorrow with David.
Get here early.
Get here early. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, as always. Same time. Same bat channel, and but we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna learn all about. There's stuff about Oak Island that this man has discovered and done his research on that we are gonna love to talk about with him tomorrow night. So join us tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And then for those of you who are interested in all the stuff going on with the UFO, UAP stuff, which is also something that I love to talk about. We are going to be covering the Age of Disclosure. Some people call it a documentary, some people call it a movie, but it's coming out on Amazon Prime on Friday. Mike Owen and I will be covering that. We're going to talk about that on Saturday. I know it's a weekend show, which is something I don't normally do, but on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be talking about, we're going to kind of go through that entire movie. Cool. Age of Disclosure. So it's going to be a lot of I don't think we'll be talking about 3i Atlas unless they do, but I don't think that's going to be part of what they're talking about. More along the lines of disclosing. These are whistleblowers. Jay Stratton will be there if you're familiar with him from Skinwalker Ranch. Very important guy in the government and things that he used to work for Bigelow and all that kind of stuff. So
it's UAP, UFO type material.
Yes. And we'll be an NHI, non-human intelligence. So we'll be going through that. There's going to be some other shows that we have coming up, or I will have coming up in that same vein. This means 3 night. All right. In that same vein, we're going to be talking. I've got had Dustin Esselson he is the MUFON director for Utah. We're going to be having a podcast with him coming up again. And I've been also working with a gentleman by the name of Bill Weber. He has written a book. He used to be the director for MUFON in Pennsylvania and Delaware. And he is no longer, but he still does his research. And he's got some crazy, I just was reading his book that he had, and really, really good stuff. So he's going to be coming out real soon as well. But here tonight, we are here to talk about The Curse of Oak Island, episode number 3 for season 13, Medieval Intentions. And so thank you, folks, for being here with us tonight. We appreciate that very much for you joining us. And as I usually do say, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you like the content of the show that we do here for you tonight, please click on that thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up and a like for that, because I always seem to get 1 or 2 thumbs down, whatever. It's people's choice, of course. But yeah, appreciate it if you would consider giving us a like button. Thank you. Appreciate that. Tap that Sugar Shack. Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate
Brazil, hello.
Brazil. Really?
I'm sure that they meant to give a thumbs up and they just accidentally
Ah,
clicked the
that's what it
thumbs
was.
down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, not everybody likes to
Maybe they're from Australia and the thumbs down is really a thumbs up.
oh,
Sorry. Loud laugh.
I love that. That's awesome. All right. And we will have a giveaway again tonight. We'll have one for every single one of our episodes going throughout the Curse of Oak Island season 13. And as soon as I find it, oh, there it is. And this is what it is. Let me bring this up real quick. So we have from Oak Island Con 2025 a bag, a lanyard, and a t-shirt that was purchased at the Oak Island Treasure Shop, Oak Island Legends Shop, right there just down the street from Oak Island in Nova Scotia. So that's our giveaway for tonight. We'll talk about that in a little bit as we get started or get to that point. But again, we appreciate all of you being here with us tonight. Let's roll with it, shall we? You guys ready?
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. Yeah, Medieval Intentions. Another good episode, I thought.
Great episode.
Yeah, it was. And I started off, with tonight's thumbnail talking about the Roman coins. And and that's where we're going to head off, right off in the lab. That's where they're talking. They're talking about this Roman coin that Katya found, Katya and Marty, when they were on lot 5. This is, they haven't, as far as I know, they haven't found any Roman coins anywhere else on the island. And am I wrong on that?
I think you're right. As far as I know, lot 5 is the spot, the hot spot.
Yeah. Why lot 5? Well, I have my theory on that. And as I said in the title of tonight's show, were Romans on Oak Island? No, I'm not going to go there. I don't believe that Romans were on Oak Island.
Not in 250 AD. I don't think they were.
Not in 250 AD. But some very interesting things have been said about all of the Roman coins. Yeah, this particular one, Claudius II, dated from 250 to 270 AD. The coin itself, as they went through its analysis of this thing. Now we have 6 Roman coins, right? 6 now have been found in lot 5. And why? Why lot 5? Why only this spot? Well, do you guys want to take a stab at why you think?
I think Seth's right. I think Seth's right. That's where they buried the body.
I'll take it.
You never know. Might be.
It could be. I mean, they're in that one sort of area. I mean, they've been tilled around, moved around. Mm-hmm. They're all being found within that top, 8-10 inches of soil. So I don't know. They said last night nobody ever actually lived on lot 5.
Not that recorded history, no.
But that doesn't mean it wasn't farmed. It wasn't a field.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of the things that were brought up last night, and we'll touch on this. We're going to jump right straight over to Sandy Campbell. There was a structure there, definitely, Jake. Absolutely, there was a structure there, and I think there's going to be more than one. David, was that David Henderson? Was that? David Henderson. Lots of worker bees. Yes, I think so.
Would have been hundreds of them. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And that's why, so many, I think there was, if they're going to expand out, and I heard Marty mention something about this last night or maybe it was Rick, but they were talking about this entire area. And you've heard me say this over the last couple of episodes, talking about this entire area from lot 2 all the way out to lot 8 or 9. Well, 9's getting into the swamp area there, but all the way out to lot 8. I think this entire area could very well be covered with, or they may find other structures. And I think it's important for them to branch out.
No doubt.
Because if there was that many people that were working in the money pit, they're going to need more than just one little building, in my opinion, anyway, on that. And
I mean, if they had, any sort of auctions or whatever, they would have had stables or feed bin storage or places to tie them up.
Absolutely.
Goodness knows, right?
Yeah. I mean, if I have no idea how many people were there doing the work in the money pit, I'm assuming quite a few. You've got to feed these people. They got to have a place to sleep and stay warm and everything else. And hence, that's why the worker bees, like David Henderson said, they're going to have spending money in their pocket. And as we found out last night through Sandy Campbell, this money was in circulation to the 1500s, right? Is that what he said?
Yeah. Well, the thing is with the currency, well, two things. Number one, I don't think people actually had pockets back then. They carried pouches or
Thank you.
Satchels or whatever. So easily would get ripped off, unattached, whatever, and be lost. But the currency thing, like to this day, we exchange international currency. People show up at any tourist destination with yen or euro or US dollars or Canadian dollars, and there's a value put on it, and they trade. You buy stuff with it. So currency is currency. The age date stamp on it, as long as it's identifiable, it's worth something.
Yes.
Was the Chinese coin found on lot 5 or in this area?
I believe it was.
Well, there you go. We've got currency, all different forms of currency. You got the beads, another form of currency. I saw someone in the chat say trading post. Absolutely, they're going to be trading with the Mi'kmaq. Sorry, Mi'kmaq. Yep. And that, I mean, for me, every time I see a bead, I think, okay, well, that was used for the natives. And I mean, from everything from trading to, I don't know, dare I say, board men cohabitating with locals going on in this vicinity. And I think that's another reason why we find so many broken pieces, because it was so heavily used. What did Fiona say? Just more and more and more proof that this is multi-use, occupational, multi-generational. I forget the exact quote, but
multi-generational use for hundreds of years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it begins with the guys who would have things like coins from the Middle East, the Templars.
Absolutely.
First international bankers.
Yep. And they would definitely have that. And so, it lends to the type. That was my next question. Who? And Templars certainly come to mind. The Vikings certainly come to mind because they traveled down through there as well. They went all the way down to meet the Pope even. And
people like Phipps, Bacon, those guys all came from Europe, right?
Yep. Exactly. So very likely that this was somebody's pouch. Thank you, Tom, for reminding me about that. But yeah, they're gonna, these coins were probably, and that lends to why lot 5, because we know that structure is there where they were being housed. So I think that if they dig around lot 5 more and lot 4, lot 6, they're going to find more structures. So that's the thing. Roman coin, Chinese coins, those people were not there, but who would carry those kinds of different types of coins? There you go. Another good reason why. And you heard Marty say, talk about the fact that, when you find things like that keeps them going.
I think too, like the megalithic structures, the moving of the rocks, like treasure depositors aren't just gonna like, hey, while we're here doing all this work in the money pit, let's also move some rocks around. Like, I feel like you really got to think about what type of person would do that and would even have the knowledge to do that. And again, to me, I'm like Templars. I was just thinking of the biggest rock that they found in lot 5. Is it lot 5 still? The big one with the yellowish color?
No, that was lot 8.
It's lot 8.
Okay.
Lot 8. Yep, lot 8.
Or will be lot 8, I should say. That will be lot 8. because they haven't. Well, we saw it when Maddie was there, but they haven't actually talked about it on the regular show yet. But they will. That would probably have been discovered about just prior to Maddie being there, which was August. So we may not get more detail on that big stone and what's underneath it.
Yeah, I keep wondering, when are we going to find it?
February maybe, or
like
March.
I say, we'll be watching the Olympics when that comes on.
Yeah, exactly. So, but interesting enough, and we'll touch on this a little bit too as we go along here. But Emma, she brought up on her screen there this information. I'll pop this up here in a second. But you guys have heard me talking about watching the show several times, getting ready for the podcast here, and noticing things in the background. And that's what this picture here. Noticing things in the background. Now we're getting ready to take a look at the screen, but I noticed a few things on the table here. Look at all those bags of artifacts. Now, you've heard us talk about, Tom and I and Seth sitting up here talking about the fact that they have so many artifacts that they found on this island that we never see on the show. Hundreds more, literally hundreds more than we ever see on the show. Look at all those. Those are all bags of artifacts sitting there.
And that's not counting the soil samples.
And yeah. Also, as you scroll over here a little bit, I thought, they need things to entertain themselves a little bit as well, right?
I used to love those games.
Isn't that one of those little
water bubbles, and then got to get the little rings on the hooks? You got to
get the little plastic ring on the hooks or what?
While you're waiting for the machine to scan.
Yeah, those machines that they have, while you're waiting for them to scan or whatever. But anyway, just thought that was kind of funny. Had to bring that up. This is the this is it here. And again, you look at these things and you're like, right over my head, you kind of lose the meaning behind all of this stuff until you hear Emma or Laird or one of them talking about all of these different things. But thank goodness that they do have the machines to be able to get this information, because it is very key when you're looking at again, trying to identify what something is and where it's from. And what is it made of? The scan on the CT scan gave us this here, which is much better than looking at that coin. You remember it was just brown and corroded and whatnot, a lot of it worn off. But here we're getting a very good look at the imaging on it. And then you can use that as well as the material makeup of the coin to find out what it is and where it's from. Hence the Roman coin. And here is that, looking at the head side of it, and then the crown, you could definitely see the crown spikes. You can barely see them poking up there on the top, but worn off for sure. That's when they came up with Claudius. And here's the other coins. Now you have 6 now found, and that's the one there. I mean, look at the difference between that and then from the CT scan of what they've got. So absolutely awesome to have those machines there.
It's great that they can do that, because if you put that through any sort of a process or any sort of rough treatment, some of those marks have been lost.
I think so. I definitely think so. Yep. Sandy Campbell, we're going to jump right over to him. He was in the in the research lab, and he was looking at this. And this statement right here that he made was very, very profound to me. The most remarkable piece that's been found to date. He means, of course, on Oak Island. If it's remarkable to him, it's remarkable to me, because this man knows what he's talking about when it comes to this sort of thing, being a numismatist. Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah. I actually got curious about him, so I did a bit of background research into him. He does run a very reputable coin business out of Nova Scotia, up in the Bedeck area, and very well known, very well respected. So, he's the real deal.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Used to the 1500s. He talked about that in somebody standing holding an oak leaf, he said. Interesting that, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of neat that they're on Oak Island with the Roman coin in there. He's holding an oak leaf. Coincidence? I don't know.
Yeah, probably. But, and here's that. And I'm going to go back to this again, and not to highlight so much on the screen, but to kind of go into what Tom was looking into. was the material makeup. Now, remember this. Go ahead, Tom. You did some homework on this.
Well, yeah, I get a little dilatory on my homework from last week until I was reminded last night. But anyway, these are the wells that Dr. Spooner had done his testing out of. Okay, and so some of them are up in the Money Pit area, and went back and actually found, this was from several years ago now. I think it was from the Truckload of Silver, Gerho Truckload of Silver episode, where they showed the breakdown of the minerals. Okay, I think you've got a slide there for that too.
Yep.
WS1, WS9, and WS2 on your next slide. There you go. And what did they talk about last night being in those coins? But copper and zinc.
Yep.
And in the Money Pit area.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah, in those wells and the coins. So, I mean, what is that? Where does that lead us? Does that kind of put that together, saying that they're spot on? I think.
Well, I mean, it's a noticeable amount of those two minerals in the samples that they took. So, yeah, I could see where Marty's leaning that way.
Absolutely.
You got to go with the science. You got to go with the science. That's what the instruments say, right? So
absolutely,
that's what you have to go with.
Yeah, and I'm glad they apply that to it. But if you don't mind, Linda, put that back up from Nick from 71. I think the coin being used as currency only validates everything. Things like the lead cross and the dating of it, which is close to the Stone Road and other things. Absolutely, Nick. Yep. Nick, I think you're absolutely right. It does validate, and that's what Marty was talking about as well. Validating that, those guys were getting in the well, and they were getting those well samples, and they were finding these materials. And then you look at what the coins are made up of, primarily same stuff: copper, zinc, silver. I mean, it does. It validates it. I think it does. Exploring zinc in Nova Scotia. Now, you found these two slides. What were these all about?
Yeah, well, I got curious, right? Like everybody else says, well, okay, so, it could be naturally occurring. So I said, okay, so where do they look in Nova Scotia? Where do they look for zinc and copper? Okay, so I went and Googled a couple of different sites and found the Nova Scotia mine site. And you can see that down in, I didn't put an arrow on Mahone Bay, but down in the Mahone Bay area, they haven't identified any significant amount of those metals.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, right down in this area here, nothing.
There's nothing there. And there's your two primary sources of copper and zinc in Nova Scotia. And again, that's a search by the mining site for Nova Scotia for zinc and copper locations, and those are the two most predominant locations. And it's the other side of Halifax. They're not even close.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those samples to be natural in the water samples on Oak Island is probably a stretch to say that would have anything to do with where they were getting zinc and copper from.
Yep.
Being so far away.
It's not significant. It's not occurring significantly enough that people are going to start mining for it down there.
Yep.
But yet they're finding it in significant results in particular spots on the island. So.
Yeah, exactly.
It's another rabbit hole, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is for sure. But it's the kind of thing that you really need to look at when you're going to talk about, the fact that they're finding these minerals in the water. It has to be coming from a source, leaching off from a source of those things in the water. Now, and that's what leads me to believe that's really one of the only things that tells me or leads me to want to say that the amount of gold, silver coins or whatever in the water samples, it's telling us that there's something still there. That's the only thing that really screams to me that there's something still down there, because they've Swiss cheese the heck out of.
There is a source of two minerals down there, and it's yet to be determined what it is.
Exactly.
It does not appear to be natural. So I agree with what Coach said. They said it's not real, and I double checked their work, and they're right. It's not real. It's not really there.
So we know it's been diluted. We know how much water they've been pumping in there with every single borehole they've put in, and all the water that they. Yeah.
Yep. So when I say it's not real, I mean it's not real that there's any sort of significant accumulation there. Not that the readings are wrong. So
correct. Yeah. Thank you, Craig. Hi, Craig. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. Roman, Viking, Templar, Oak Island. Yeah, you're yeah. I agree.
I think it's interesting that it was the scientists that pointed out, hey, this is the same thing that Dr. Spooner was finding. It wasn't like, Rick or one of the others trying to make that connection or leading, the scientist. It came from them. They were the ones that were like,
yeah, I'm glad you put that back up. It's remarkable the elements Dr. Spooner found in the water samples are the same elements found on those coins. The fellowship are sat on gold mine and treasure, and the coins are in fairly good condition. Yep. So I think that's what tells me there's something still in there, still down there. Because I was of the belief that, it was there as a temporary place and it's all been moved out and moved on somewhere else. But if they're still getting those samples in that water, that's strongly.
The reason they lost the readings last year, was it last year? He said the readings are gone.
It was last year.
Well, it pumped the place full of water and they've drilled it full of holes, and it's going to take a while for that stuff to reaccumulate. And eventually it did.
Yeah. And not only that, but as we will talk about when we get a little further into this, the solution channel. I think it's much more vast than they ever thought about.
Based on last
episode,
night,
yeah. So, we'll get there as we go along here tonight. But again, lots of water down there. Lots of water down there. All right, we're going to stay in the lab for just a little bit longer. And we're going to talk about the seed bead, or the blue bead that Tansy found. That's it right there. This was another little interesting, and Seth, you brought it up just a little bit ago, talking about these beads that were found, trade beads. This one being a seed bead. This would be more of a embroidery bead, I think, is what they were kind of indicating it was. Look at that thing. That's awesome. And it was so interesting to me when Emma said it was copper. They used copper to get that color. I'm thinking it's blue. Copper is not blue. I don't know. It's the minerals, I guess, how that works and everything. But I thought that was really interesting. And again, she did some samples here, and Tom pointed out some things here at the bottom of what it says. But you're looking at the Venetian beads.
Yep. This is just who they compared it to. So that's your comparisons on the chart, right? I know I couldn't help but notice that Phipps was named on there.
Yeah.
The force glass bead, of course, those types of things. But that's what they're comparing. That's what the chart's comparing it to. So it's all stuff we know about.
Yeah.
And all over hundreds of years, right? Not over one particular time frame when this stuff occurred.
Exactly. Yeah. Kat says when she asked Charles about it, he indicated that the solution channel was a huge area. Yeah. That's what they know now. Joanne, thank you so much. That's very nice of you. Thank you. And Craig, thank you so much. And I appreciate your help and support the show. Copper oxide is blue. Thank you.
There you go. Somebody will know the answer. Yep.
Yeah. That's why I love the chat. You guys are way smarter than I am, for sure. But I thank you so much for bringing that up. Okay, so we're going to jump over to lot 5, where they found that bead, and they found those other trade beads, Venetian trade beads, and all of that stuff.
What's that round thing in front of her dustpan?
I don't know. I saw that too, and she's looking right at it.
I tried to get a shot of it last night, and I didn't get it. But.
What is this? I saw that as well, and I was like, what in the world is that?
It's not part of a tree stump because it's too low.
Right.
Is it? Or maybe it is. I don't know.
I thought maybe it's a rock, but man, it's pretty interesting that it's round. Nice and round like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even notice it during the show.
Yeah. I didn't until I was going back through the, getting everything collected up here for it. I sent Jeff a map of the solution channel based on Jeremy Church's mapping. I just got a new laptop and have not installed Discord on it yet. Will soon. Thanks. I appreciate that, Zig. Yeah. And I don't have it handy to bring up and show everybody at the moment, but yeah. And that's somebody that I meant to reach out to him today. Jeremy Church is with Panther Geoscience. He's the one that came out and they did, him and Burton Cosgrove, they did the seismic survey in the swamp as well as in the Money Pit area, all over. Actually, they've done a lot of the island, quite honestly, more so than we've ever seen on the TV show. And they've been back several times, but they're the one that talked about this large solution channel. And I think that this is key because, and it kind of goes along with what we were talking about with the dilution of the minerals, of silver, copper, and zinc minerals in the water and everything else, because of all these cavities that are down there. Yeah, and I'd love to get. I'm going to see if Jeremy will come back and talk to us again about what's that?
I'm just reading the comments.
Oh, everybody,
people think this is pet turtle. Half a coconut was one. Y'all are funny.
Could that be a seed bead from the Mi'kmaq? I don't know.
Mud pie. Yeah.
We'll have to ask Fiona. We are going to have some guests coming on soon. As soon as we get, we've asked Laird, and when I was at the Oak Island Con, and we had Laird, and everybody was there, and I got a chance to talk to Emma, and she walked up to me and she said, "Hey, we need to come on with me and Jillian and Laird." And I'm like, "When you're ready, come on, let's do it." So that show will happen at some point, but they have had a very busy summer, so we're kind of letting things calm down and let them take a breath before we
everything going on lot 5. It might be best to wait till closer to the end of the season for those folks. They're going to have so much stuff to talk about.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah,
so much stuff they won't be able to talk about if they come on too soon.
Exactly. Yeah. And somebody pointed out, look at all the flags. Yeah.
Yes.
Look at all these pink flags back here.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Roman coins right there.
Yeah. Very well could be, huh? Isn't that neat? Yes, she did say that, Kat. When we were at the Mug and Anchor, she came right up to me and said that, and I was like, "Okay, let's do it." So, and Jillian, I only had a chance to say hi to her, and I never really got to talk to her much, but yeah. So, stay tuned. That's why you need to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you know when stuff like that's coming on. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing? Yeah, then they found the pipe stem. Fiona did. She found the pipe stem there, and it was so interesting to talk to her or hear from her and how they go about dating these things by using the size of the little.
It's a drill bit, isn't it? 4/64 drill bit.
Yeah. Yeah, 4/64. I don't even. I mean, that's not a size that I would go pick out of my box of drills.
No. That's a pretty small one.
That's a pretty small one, but yeah. So it's right at 4/64, so somewhere between 1753 and 1800. So that's
pre-money pit.
Pre-money pit. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting. She said it was the let's see, it's the mean date range of all the artifacts found is within this range.
Yeah, of lot 5.
Yeah,
lot 5. Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, what does that tell you?
There was a big operation to get stuff out of the money pit before it was officially discovered.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're left picking whatever they couldn't get, or I say we, assuming I'm part of that, but they're left picking what those people couldn't get.
Yeah, that's funny how she said that. 4/64, and that's 1/16. Is that what that is, David Henderson?
Yep.
Yeah. So then we come across this. We come across the pottery here that they found, and
who else said it was a hand? A finger.
Oh, a finger. Yeah.
Yeah. Before, I mean, I knew it wasn't, but I thought that looks like a couple of fingers, or a hot dog. Yeah.
Hot dog. When they take it out and flip it over, earthenware, more earthenware found, pottery with the design, and she said the design could help them get a closer date on it. She said 1600 to 1800 time frame. Yeah, so that's interesting.
What do they call it when they take their finger and they do that swirl across the top of the pottery? There's a name for that type of pottery.
I'm not sure. I bet somebody in our
it's gone out of my mind, but I do know what it's called. But yeah.
Yeah, so interesting pottery. Now, and we keep out. This is like the biggest pieces that I've seen them find. And
Yes.
we were commenting about that before. Is where's the rest of the plate? Where's the rest of the stuff? Why are we getting these little shards? If you would think that if they broke this plate here, it's done for, right? Especially with these big chunks missing out of it. So where's the rest of it at?
Well,
Why is
yeah,
that?
and it could be. But what if this was backfill brought from someplace else to fill those holes, to cover stuff up?
Very good point.
Right, because it's not down that deep, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
so it could be backfill that they brought from someplace else.
You're right. You're absolutely right. It could be. So would that mean that the coins and the trade beads and everything are part of that backfill? Possibly.
It could be.
Could be. Where would they have gotten it from? Use this area to dump trash. Well, possibly, but there is a structure.
Yeah, I don't think it's a dump. I don't think it's a dump site.
I don't think this part is a
I don't
dump.
think it's a dump site. No.
Yeah. Yeah. She said it was a very large diameter plate. Thank you, Zig.
Yeah. Used for food preparation or
And she
whatever.
was showing like the
Good
size.
diameter. Yeah.
Yeah. But very big plate. So there it is, cleaned up. Man, you think about that. It looks like lower end, if I can say that, lower end pottery, but still, this kind of find is awesome. It really is. And they can date this. And, again, people, kind of poo-poo the whole idea of finding pottery. Where's the treasure? Well, you got to narrow down who.
What did they say the pottery dates they were finding were ranging 1500 to 1800, something like that?
Yep.
And that covers a lot of people.
Yeah, that's when she was saying that squiggle design could help narrow that down.
Yep.
And someone in the chat said the glaze could help
Date
it as well.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
They got to find out. Hopefully, this isn't one of those pieces that we never hear about again. I'm hoping that we get an answer from this.
And we've got some Roman coins, a whole bunch of shards of pottery and glass. We got soil from the money pit. We've got a site that was used for decades and then all of a sudden covered. Mm-hmm. So I think whoever was in this time period, the mean range of this, right before the official discovery of the money pit, they found what they were looking for and then they covered their tracks. And maybe these Roman coins were some of the actual things from the money pit that kind of made it, how Tom, you said to maybe backfill. Maybe this is money pit backfill. Mm-hmm. We found soil, money pit soil.
Yeah.
So, maybe
very true.
This is, and that's why everything's broken, because they were not coming back. They're not going to use this site again. And they want to hide the fact that it was ever there to begin with. Mm-hmm. And then a guy who happens to own it happens, just to never let anybody dig on it, which I know is a blessing for the archaeology team.
Absolutely.
But was that a coincidence, or did he know something and was maybe given, just like many people on Oak Island have been guardians? Maybe he was one of them.
Or did they hide Lot 5, buried everything, stuff from the money pit, like you say, covered it all up, and they never came back? The stuff from the stuff they left behind is still there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think
still in the money pit.
Oh yeah. I definitely think stuff got.
They didn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
for whatever reason, they didn't want people to know they were there. And I say the same thing about the swamp all the time. For whatever reason, they didn't want people to know that they were there.
Yep. Yeah. And you think about it, if they came back and they got out the treasure that was, let's say there was treasure in the money pit, they got it out and it's gone. Why would you bother hiding it? Why would you bother filling it back in and hiding the fact you were there? I don't know. But
you don't want people to know you were there. This is a simple reason.
Yeah.
If you didn't care, you wouldn't cover it up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it obviously, and you've heard Laird say that before, it was purposely.
That's a lot of work.
It is a
lot of work to make it, but it's also work to bring the material in to cover it up.
Yep. Yeah.
Like
an army tank on the beach or a military bunker. Yeah, I was watching something on the History Channel. They uncovered a tank. It was.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
What? A tank? Yeah. I don't know. All right. As I was talking about earlier about the spreading out of the areas along this whole, and I'm going to jump out and say from lot 9, I admitted I took out lot 5. earlier, or lot 9 earlier, but you talk about this whole area from lot 1 all the way to lot 9. I think there may be more, and it's just my speculation to say that there may be more buried structure in this entire area. Now we know that they're working on a new area now in lot 5, that area that's probably closer to the road up in this area here. But I think this area, this entire area right here, would have been utilized for encampment purposes.
I think it was. I think that whole, I'm going to call it the Western Drumlin, is lower. It's more sheltered because your lot 15, 16, whatever are higher, right? Yep. They're going to take the brunt of the weather. You're down next to the water, so easy access, and it's flat and you're sheltered.
Yep.
It's a perfect spot.
It's the perfect spot to set up your camp. So maybe condos. Yeah. Ernest. Yes. And that's another good point. David Henderson and Tom pointed this out a couple weeks ago that, the trees are all, well, we know there was some farming going on as well. And there was also a lumber mill there at one point as well. The trees are very young. Yep. So.
Yeah. For whatever reason, the trees have been cut off that property.
Yep.
Some time ago. And they could have been cut off between 1780, whatever. They could have been cut a couple times now. So
wasn't there a tree growing in the wall, that one wall that they found dividing one of these lots? And they were saying that tree kind of helped age that wall.
Yeah. Lot 28. That was an oak, a big oak.
Okay. So I thought that was in this area, but that was not.
No, lot 28 just across the road.
Okay.
Yep. And I think that some of those trees, if you were there then, you would want to keep some of those trees there to hide the fact that you're there, because that's the ocean side versus the backside being it's not that far over to where the Oak Island Resort and Land is on the north side. So the south side is where you would approach from the open sea.
I don't know if it was a practice back then. I know it's a practice nowadays. When you're cutting land, you always leave what they call seed trees. So more mature trees that are going to seed the ground for the forest or whatever to grow back.
Yep. Yeah, they did. They had a guy come and take he did a core sample out of the tree, and they were reading. I forget what the dates came back from the thing. I don't remember now.
It's got some homework.
100 years old. So over to lot 4 now, and you got Charles and Gary going over there and doing a little bit of metal detecting. And I was looking behind them. I didn't see a bunch of pink flags in this area behind them, so it looks like they were working that side out pretty well. But and he got a hit. Now here's what I wanted to bring this up. I didn't capture a picture of it, but if you noticed something that happened in the last 2 episodes that we don't generally ever see, is the fact that number 1, they found Katya found a nail. And then so did Gary. They found a nail in this scene here just before he finds this piece of lead that we're getting ready to talk about. He found a nail. Mm-hmm. Now, we don't normally see that stuff, and I'm glad they're putting that in there because it's showing you some of the non-important items that they're finding. They found a nail and put it right in the pouch. Just a common nail. I think they found one in the spoils over in the from TOT1 in the spoils over there in Smith's Cove. Yep. They found
another nail.
Yep, another nail. And again, it was like, just stick it over there in the bag. Not important. But I'm glad that they're doing this. I'm glad that they're showing that kind of stuff. I'd rather look at that than I would a repeat about the machines or something. I like it though. I do. I like to see that kind of stuff because it's all part of what they're doing there. So here's where they find this lead piece, and they did make a comment. And I see you brought it up as well, Tom. They should lot 5 spoils be the state. They did mention on the show about lot 4 and the spoils is where they were going, but the way they worded it, it was kind of funny, making you think that they were digging in the spoils, but that's not the case here. Obviously, this is not, because
you could see the trail where they had laid down the spoils, and this was off of that trail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The spoils were more down toward the water, down this way, down here, and they're up closer to the road here in this particular spot. But anyway, so they find this piece of lead that popped up, and I Gary was talking about possibly like the lead cross. Maybe this was something. What was your take on this thing? Either what do you think?
It's not a cross. It could be lead. I would just say you got to get that thing back to the lab and test it to see where that lead came from.
Yeah.
See if it matches anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like somebody was trying to carve it a little bit. You see the notches here. In this
it was definitely, that's purposeful at the end. Whether it was an eye, like at the end of, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was purposeful for something.
Yeah. Yeah. Zig says, I'm hoping the lead comes from the same place as the lead cross and the token.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about it until kind of seeing what the lab says about it. But it's
just a piece of lead.
Just a piece of lead. But I think that
get the lead out.
Yes, it was. Yeah, Denise, definitely lead was, and they found that kind of lead before. Gary has found it and noted that it was probably lead in the, that they cut off bars, melted it down into balls, and they had little things to make their musket balls out of.
Yep, make your shot with. Yep.
But I don't think this is one of them. I just, for whatever reason, I don't believe, and neither did Gary, or he would have said something. This is the second lead pin or stick found, and the previous one did match the lead cross.
Ooh.
Thank you, David. This one looks carved. I mean, I'm going to go back to that. This one looks carved to me. And I think somebody mentioned snake. I think Kat said something about a snake. It does kind of look. Yeah, it does kind of look like a snake or something that they were starting to. I don't know, but you see these little notches and things on it. I think somebody.
When soldiers got bored, they carved into the lead, right?
Of all ages, they carved stuff and they made things in the. What's that? The trench art.
Trench art.
They call it trench art. Yeah. I contend the lead stick is used to melt down to the lead cross made on the island if the isotopes are the same. Yep.
Interesting. So they were making those lead crosses on the island too?
But it goes back to the source of the lead and when those lead mines were actually active. Right? That's where the lead comes from.
Yep. Well, we know with those machines that Emma will be able to find out where it came from and kind of get a date on it. So that'll be interesting to see what she comes up with. Because Gary was like, I got to get this over there right now.
Francis said the natives had to know they were on the island. Oh, absolutely. The natives were there 1,000 years before anybody showed up.
Oh, absolutely. More. Oh, absolutely.
So they knew it. So slide me a few beads and you were never here.
Yep. Yeah. They could buy their silence. All right. Giveaway time. Yeah, Drake. Did I keep mentioning the machines, don't I? Scan. Yeah. All right. So we're going to do this giveaway here, and Linda's going to pop in, and there she is, and she's going to help us with this. And again, you can these giveaways are things that we have. Christina and I actually donated these items here, and got that shirt at the Oak Island Treasure Shop. But we give these away on every episode, and to be eligible, you need to be a member of our Facebook group page. Linda will put out a post, and all you have to do with the picture of it and saying that's for the upcoming show, all you have to do is comment on the post and say yes, and she will get you entered into the spin that we're going to do here in just a little bit. You must be present at the podcast to win, so that's important.
You can't win it if you're not in it. So
that's right.
Yep. So how you doing, Linda?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
I am.
I appreciate I tell you folks, Linda and I, how long have we been at this now? We've been this 5 years
in this group. 5 years.
5 years.
5 years and 2 weeks.
Yeah. Linda and I started this together 5 years and 2 weeks ago, getting this whole thing started with the podcast and the Facebook group page, The Curse of Oak Island and Beyond _ Skinwalker Ranch. And boy, it's been a lot of fun, hasn't it?
It has. And we had done some podcast work even before we started this.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. So yeah, so it's been a lot of fun, and I tell you what, it's grown in ways that I tell you what, without this team of people right here, Seth and Tom and Linda and Jan Anderson, that does so much for us with the with all the synopsises and stuff, and she's also a moderator on the Facebook group page. I tell you, it takes a team. Colin Jameson, and so many people involved.
Brenda keeping track of her.
Brenda keeping track of all the people that are in our group and where they're from, but I thank them so much for making this all
people like
happen.
Lorraine, the main organizer and chief bottle washer of Oak Island Con.
Yep. So how did we meet? We met in a different group.
We were in a different group.
Yep.
And the way I found this group was you guys disappeared off the other group, and I went looking for you. You said, well, if they're leaving, I'm out of here.
Yep. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, because you Seth, you two both have been such a great addition to this. I couldn't imagine do the Curse of Oak Island without you. I really could not. Tom
Jan came over at about that same time. She was here the second day that we were a group.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, I've had a bunch of messages wanting to know about synopsis last week and this week.
Uh-huh.
And Jan's husband is ill again.
Oh.
So we're just going to be patient until she feels like she can take time away and do that.
Yes.
We waited 230 years. We could wait a couple more days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
All right.
Hey, Jake?
All right. So let's do a spinneroo, shall we?
Yeah.
Spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel. All right. And like I said, Linda's got her spinner there on her phone, and she goes through the trouble of putting everybody's names in this thing. That's
the worst part of everything that I do. All of these names have to be put in like this.
Individually.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine.
Every single one.
I can't imagine. Door number one. No whammies. All right.
No whammies.
All right. So let's do a spin and we'll see what happens. I'll put you in solo layout. There we go.
All right. Here we go. Make sure my sound is on. It's being weird.
But it is spinning.
Sounds like a horse.
Sounds like a horse galloping down the road.
Bernadette. Bernadette.
Bernadette.
All right. Bernadette, are you here? Let us know if you are here. And also, it's
horsing about.
Yeah, let us know that you are here. If we don't hear from you here in just about a minute or so, we're going to spin it. Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hey, yes, I'm here. All right. We have a winner. All right. Good deal.
That's so strange.
Bernadette,
if you will, I don't think I've sent to you before. If you will message me your address, I will get this in the mail, but it won't be until Friday.
Okay. Yep.
So just send me a private message. I will get it and we'll chat.
Yep. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate you.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
All right. So we are going to continue on and take us over now to the research center. Because we're going to go through a little bit more. We're going to head in there. Now, the guys are meeting because they're talking about the next place that they want to get looking, and that is the swamp. They're going back to the swamp. Last year they were working up on the north end, up on Nolan's properties up there at the whole north end of the swamp. And we're following another stone path, or maybe even the same stone path that they followed from the stone road in the southeast corner all the way up through Dolan's Peninsula and up to the north end of it there. That's back when Dr. Aaron Taylor was there helping them. And now they're going to continue down. Now, this time they're working in a different spot, and they're looking at some, I love when they bring these maps up here.
Right.
You can see the swamp right here. And this is the area they were working last year, was up here in the top in this blue area, and also a little bit of this spot right here. They kind of crossed that road that went through, and as they were working, but And here is a closer look at just the swamp, or mostly just the swamp area. And they're going to be working down here in the bottom. This was an interesting little spot right here, wasn't it, Tom?
I mean, that's a lot of stuff they found in that one spot. If you zoom in on it, what did they find? They found some sort of a bracket. They found a nail and or spike, the sole of a shoe, and some kind of an iron collar.
Yeah, so iron collar. Yeah, gate bracket, nail/shoe, or nail/spike, sole of a shoe, and then the iron collar. So a lot of things found in that spot. Well, what else do you notice about all that? I mean, there's so much of the swamp that has not even been.
Yeah, you notice what I notice is when I try to zoom in and see, they have different artifacts named there. They got the stakes and the posts and the tripods, and they get all these artifacts named. But a place that size, and that's all you've got for artifacts. That's what drives me crazy. I mean, you can't drop a trowel in lot 5 and not hit an artifact.
I know, almost, yeah.
Right, but you go to a swamp with it's got docks and roads and wharfs, and there's nothing there.
Yeah,
compared to the other places, right?
Yeah.
Why is that? That's because they, in my opinion, they cleaned up behind themselves. They didn't want people to know they were there.
Yeah. Again, we go back to that whole thing about covering up lot 5. Go back to, what was that? Go back to the picture
of the guys.
Okay. Bring back the picture of the guys. Jess. Hey, Jess Grow. How you doing?
Oh, someone's wearing your hat? She's asking.
No, not my hat. No.
Oh, the white cap that
Scott's
got on.
No, that's not mine. That's a rock.
Oh, I see what she means. It does look like
that was one of my. That looks like one of my hats that I had. Yeah, but no, that's Rock Equipment Company hat that he's wearing right there.
Steve's wearing. Yeah,
Steve's got on.
Yeah,
I know, Jess.
It looks like that one, but
like that one right there. Yeah, it does kind of look like that. Yeah,
that's my favorite hat. I wear that one a lot.
This is a great summer hat.
Yep. Yeah. It was on the show last year, actually, when they were in Traverse City. Scott actually was wearing it when they were at the meeting in Traverse City last year, or last season. Anyway, Scott was wearing it, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm always looking too. I know it's a habit. Somebody had commented about that last week. Somewhere I saw it. Somebody asked about looking at hats, and I said, "Oh, it was on our Facebook group page, I think." And I'm always looking, of course, for that reason. But yeah, I think you're right, Tom. You know, we've got things in the swamp, and again, folks, don't forget about the dates of things in the swamp it's very, very important. You've got the stone road down in the southeast corner, 500 years old, approximately. You've got the stone platform that's north of Nolan's Peninsula, right here, this paved area. They call it the paved area because it was a large, very flat, very well built paved platform that was dated around 1200. You know, they're finding all these artifacts in lot 5, and they're all dating mid 1600s to mid 1700s, the majority, the bulk of them. But yet you've got things like this platform that dates back 12 to 1200.
Yep.
Multi-generational use, right?
Absolutely.
That's all. Yeah, it really is.
Yep.
I wonder what's under Nolan's Peninsula. Cat, I don't know. We'll see.
Lots of planning, lots of manpower, generations and generations of planning. Whatever they were moving here was very important. I don't think it was just treasure. And it's like, if you want proof that the swamp is man-made, like, well, how did they build all this? They were just pumping water out constantly? Like, I don't think so.
No. The swamp, the road around the bottom of the swamp is an afterthought. That was done years and years and years later. Yeah. No, the swamp was definitely open to the ocean, in my opinion.
It was. Yeah. Okay. So, and they talk about the big ship shape anomaly that was in the swamp, and I don't know that it was ever a ship. I don't really think so. And that a lot of that has to do with Jeremy Church and Panther Geoscience doing their seismic survey there. But I mean, why else would you need these things there? Why would you need this paved area? Why would you need that stone road down there? It had to be for getting things on and off. I mean, it would still make a good what'd you call them? Flatboat. What do you call those up?
Barges.
Like a barge,
Barge,
yeah. To ferry things off the ship that's anchored out in the deeper waters. You're now ferrying stuff onto the island and you're going to need some sort of a platform to be able to get out of.
Yeah.
Get the stuff out of that. And so
if you're looking for a place to get rid of spoils, you got to haul them down a hill or over something to get onto a barge to get stuff out of there. If you're hauling stuff up, then you need a place to turn your oxen. So
I'm Cat. Her butt comment in the chat is, I agree with that's kind of what I was going to say. But what could have made that outline? Something made that outline. And all that ash and charcoal that Dr. Spooner found, they burned a lot of material there. They sunk and burned a ship, I think. Is it a Spanish galleon? I don't think so, but it's something.
Mm-hmm. And and don't forget, and going along your line of thought there, Seth, remember the metal bracket that Gary had found. It's probably in some of this listing here of the things that they found, but that metal bracket that they found, they took it to Carmen, and Carmen said this bracket was involved in a very intense hot fire.
Exactly. Yes, he did. Yep.
And that was found in the swamp. Now, we've talked about, and we will mention it again here as we go along, all these pieces of wood that they found. The deeper, the better on the wood, as far as I'm concerned. If it's closer to the surface, it could easily have blown in from a storm. And there's a lot of shipwrecks around and whatnot. We've talked about that. Mm-hmm. Tony Sampson has talked about that quite a bit. But that bracket, man, it
didn't float in there.
It did not float in there. No.
One thing too, with all the different post survey stakes, whatever you want to call them, they're all the point is all cut in a similar fashion. Mm-hmm. So they're connected.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Kat, what shape were you talking about? You were talking about the shape of it. Were you talking about the entire swamp itself?
I think he's talking about the ship's shape structure.
Oh yeah. That was pretty remarkable, quite honestly.
But you can see now they're starting to work over in what I agree with what Rick calls it now. He says they're going to work in the bog, which to me is that area just outside what you would normally see water in the swamp. Because where they start to clear off, that's bushes, that's shrubbery, that's a bog.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, this is where they're going now. You can see them getting started over there. They're going to work this area. Yeah. I think it was down in this area down here, just south of where they are, that they had found all those axe heads. Mm-hmm. I think Gary found like 3 axe heads over there. So was there some sort of a, I don't know, why would you have them all there? That's kind of steel. You're not going to throw that stuff away. You're going to repurpose it. But I don't know. But anyway, here they are working this area. There's another shot of it a little closer up. And again, they start right off the bat. They start finding these stakes. Now, somebody had mentioned, earlier, I saw a comment go by about these stakes and somebody said something about, oh, well, these stakes are there to mark off lots. I don't think you're going to worry about that. If it was on land, maybe so. I mean, but in the swamp, are you that concerned about marking off the?
Well, you didn't need to outline the outside edge of lot 32 because that was the last lot.
Right.
There is no boundary line. There's no need to create a boundary line between the lot 2 and out towards Isaac's Point, or 32 and Lots Point. There's no reason to do it.
Yeah.
There's survey markers posed for something.
Are they marking on a survey or something? Yeah.
Yes, a survey marker you're only going to put at the corners of properties, right? Maybe one midpoint, but they're going to be corner markers.
Yes.
And back in the day, they were typically piles of rocks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, they've were they marking out they were following, those stakes were actually following the stone path that they were looking at up in the north area. Mm-hmm. And also as it ran from the southeast corner of the swamp all the way along the eastern edge from south to north as it went up along that side. When Dr. Aaron Taylor was there, they were finding stakes along that edge of the stone path that they were following there as well.
Yep.
Now they're finding them over here. Does that mean that there's some, a stone pathway down here as well? We'll find out as the show goes along. But I mean, if they're finding the stakes, it's quite possible it could be, or there could be a stone path down there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, why in the heck would they need it there? That's what blows my mind on this, is why, and so far back in time. The Mi'kmaq didn't do it.
No, they have no reason to.
They had no reason to, exactly. So, I don't know. People,
The
again,
Mi'kmaq did not need a property line because they owned the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, they found several pieces of stakes here. So, I don't know. It's one of those. Hopefully, we'll get an answer. They will date these, and they've dated the other ones before. And I thought
1600s, most of them, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. They date
1630 to mid 1700s.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. They're not as old as the stone platform or the paved area or the stone road. They're certainly not that old.
But they're pre-money pit.
Mm-hmm. I don't see why somebody wouldn't have been marking out. Somebody may have found that path that goes from the southeast corner up to the north. They may have found that years ago and marked it out, saying, "Oh, hey, there's a path right here."
1630, nobody was living on the island that we know of.
It
hadn't been divided, hadn't been anything. It was mid 1700s before they actually divided the island into lots.
But you know what Rick is looking for? He's looking for more clues, absolutely. But you remember he said, and I mentioned this last week, when they found that little vault that was up on the north side, that I believe that Anthony Graves found. He may have found something in it and took it all out, but he may have also been using it. Remember, back then they didn't have banks. So when you had money at your place, when you weren't at your house all the time, you had to hide it somewhere. Or a cooler space or somewhere to keep things cold.
To me, its best use, practical use, would have been for keeping, food from rotting.
Mm-hmm. So,
you could also use it for the same. I mean, two things can be true at the same time, right?
Yep. You could keep food and you could keep some of your valuables in there.
Put a false floor in.
But Rick had mentioned, yes, we talked about fish traps quite a bit, Jan. Yeah, that's absolutely. Tom covered that very well for us last season. The fish traps, but so Rick is looking to see if there's more of those vaults. He believes there may be more of those vaults, and he wants to find out. So that's what he's kind of looking for. There you can see the area that they're working now as they've got it scraped off and looking there. So that's I'm glad they're doing it. Like I said last week, if it were up to me, I'd scrape off the entire swamp. Every inch of that swamp. How do you do that in one summer? You can't. So
they had the perfect summer for it.
Yeah. A little rain.
April and May here, we couldn't get the rain to stop.
Yep.
We prayed for it to stop, and it stopped, and it never came back till October.
Yeah, pretty
crazy. They had the perfect summer for that to dry out to be able to work in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So here we go. We're going to jump over to the money pit now. And they're drilling this particular borehole. Now, remember, they're following the solution channel. So they're drilling this particular borehole, J.5-8.5. And they're following the solution channel as they go along. This is still within the chapel shaft, but they're going much deeper than the chapel shaft. That's the key point to think there. Why are they drilling where the shaft was? Because they're going deeper. Because remember, back when these guys had done their shafts, they knew where the Truro Company, for sure, in the mid 1800s, they knew where the money pit was at that time. It's been lost since then. So they're drilling down, going down below the chapel shaft, much deeper. This is we were talking to Discord last night about that pipe that fell out and dropped, and there he is looking.
Oops.
Oh, that kind of took me by surprise because as they're drilling and then they're adding more rod to the drill. That's the inner portion. That's not the outer casing, but the drill rod is in the one in the middle, or goes down inside of that. And when they're drilling it, it's supposedly sitting on, they need to add another piece, so it's sitting on a hard surface down there. So they unscrew it, get another rod, put their grease on it, get ready to put it in, and they let go, and it fell. It's like, oh, what the hell?
What goes through your mind when that happens?
Yeah, me, Void. That's what I was thinking, Void.
And you can see on the truck right beside them there, you can see the one pipe that will fit inside the other.
Yeah.
You can see the two different diameters.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that baby fell. I mean, and it dropped. He said, what, 15 feet?
15 feet.
Yeah. So what does that
lucky
say?
to get that back.
What's that?
They were lucky to get that back.
Oh yeah, for sure. If it had dropped more than that, they would have, I don't know.
Well, if it had gone out the end of the pipe even and got sort of half sideways or off thread a little bit.
Fell through the casing.
Yeah. Oh, it was gone. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been gone. But yeah,
I like what Terry said. That's interesting.
Yeah.
No, that's
interesting. It is right here.
Yeah, that was interesting.
What do you say when an unattached drill pipe falls 15 feet down a hole? That was interesting. Charles like, what happened? Oh, yeah. So it did. They were able to go down and reconnect to it and keep going, of course. But the interesting part about all of this, and this is that solution channel stuff that you would see. What's on the table right there is what you would see at the bottom of the solution channel. And that's the kind of thing that they're looking for. When they come up with, and they had 20 feet of rod, and they had about this much muck in the bottom of it, about a foot, maybe 2 feet of muck in the bottom of 20 feet of rod. Mm-hmm. A lot of water they went through, a big void down there. But that's what you would be looking for. And that's where they're hoping that any treasure or anything might have fallen down into that. But the funny thing was 168 to 198. Now, Tom put this together, and thank you, Tom, for doing this because it kind of puts it all together. 168 to 198 in J.5 at 8.5. They went all the way down to 228 and no bedrock yet. Now, he did say that they were in soft material. You could feel resistance as he was drilling, but not much. It was going real easy, real quick. No bedrock yet. He went from 168 to 188 all the way down to 228. No bedrock yet. And then finally hit bedrock at 229.
Which is way beyond target depth.
Quite a bit beyond target.
They were going, 210, 215 was their target depth.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're past even what they thought was
the
depth.
Yeah, something that Terry said is generally 214 to 218 to the bedrock. So here comes the big question for me. And I mentioned this, I kind of alluded to this just a little bit earlier. Those are the dirtiest things you'll ever said on ship. What did I say? I don't remember what I said. But here you are with this big void. Now this you're talking 30 feet. And they use this picture here to kind of illustrate, the depth of this solution channel in this area. First of all, and you heard Rick say something about how they were searching for places to put a case on. Would you put a case on in here?
Absolutely.
I would.
And it would have a big air vacuum attached to it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. They mentioned on here that this is now, it's much more vast than they had originally imagined, and deep. So I throw out the question to you guys, to everybody. If the treasure remember they talked about the plug that fell out, and everybody's been drilling and doing all the hammer grab going down there, and they feel that the treasure fell through into the solution channel. And now you have the possibility of a large open area down there full of water. And I throw this question out, is the treasure even retrievable at this point? If it fell down into this large area.
Yeah, and like here we see the ledge, like Terry was describing, it's not just like an open void. There's ledges, there's, all sorts of imagining, corkscrewing around, and then we got what they said 30-foot openings. How do you, if you put a caisson down, can the caisson just smash through those ledges and force itself down to bedrock, or does it get hung up on this stuff?
Well, this is it, right? This is why the choice program is so important, right? That's going to identify where your soft spots are, and where your ledges are. And they may have to get someone like geoscience or someone back down there to do more. They may have to get, the Frank guy back to drop his stuff down there.
Yeah.
More,
Frankie with
some of the GPR stuff, right?
Absolutely. This is, this when I heard them talking about this, and I immediately I started thinking about that question. If it's much more vast than they ever thought, and if the treasure fell down in there, I mean, my goodness, it's much harder now to be able to, if that's the case, it's much harder to retrieve now than I ever imagined.
But I only need one piece.
Yeah, you're right. That's
I only need one coin.
I mean, wow. I don't know. It's just that the idea that this thing, the monumental task has just expanded to get if it's down there and it fell down inside there and it's not in some offset chamber somewhere else.
It's hard to believe that all the weight and all the force that they used, like Vanessa told us, right? Not those caissons aren't just turning, right? They're applying downward pressure on those caissons. Right, with the oscillator, it's not just a matter of turning it and letting it grind its way into the ground. They're applying downward pressure.
Yep.
So you take all that downward pressure, vibration. If there's a big hole beneath, you're going to knock stuff down in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I don't know. This really bothered me kind of when they're, hey, Jeff, Tom, and Seth, do you believe there could be a matching fault on the west side of the swamp?
I do.
I think so.
Absolutely.
Vault or vaults.
Yeah.
Hey.
If there's one, there's likely more.
I mean, I keep going back to is if we have religious artifacts, or if we have Shakespearean documents, or we have something other than cash, let's call it, right? What do you leave behind that someone's going to come take, other than they want to find the treasure, they want to find the cash, they want to find the coins? Dig a hole, put them off to the side, call it a false treasure. I find my coins and I go home. Meanwhile, what I hid that I really don't want you to find is still hidden.
Yeah.
That's called a false treasure.
Yeah. Yep.
If you've got the wherewithal to dig a hole like that, you've got the wherewithal to come up with a false treasure.
Tao
which means more than one vault.
Yeah. If the treasure broke up and lay scattered in the solution channel, yes, it is recoverable. But as Jeff mentions, it could be better if the fellowship did a big freeze dig recovery. If the solution channel is as big as it is, can you freeze it like that? I mean, what do you run into?
Where would you start?
Yeah, what do you run into to try to get that frozen?
You go all the way out to Smith's Cove and try and block it from there. I don't know.
I don't know. This introduces to me. The job just got so much bigger. Maybe that's what you should see what we found today from Fiona. Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's true. She was talking about that. That's a lot of area to freeze. Yeah, so deep. I know. I don't know. I'm just that really does kind of bother me now that and it goes back to what Jeremy Church said from Panther Geoscience about these. Remember when he took us through that? There was a camera view coming.
Oh God, it's a maze, yeah.
And it was huge. These huge openings full of water down there that he was, based upon his tech and the software to run all of the seismic data that they had collected. It's a huge underground river and lakes and stuff down there. I mean,
and it just goes to show why in the garden shaft, when we were thinking, where is that water coming from? When it started flooding, and then all the troubles, with the so-called flood tunnels. Now I wanted to question if flood tunnels were ever even needed to begin with, or if they just were taking advantage of what they knew was a naturally occurring solution channel, and it was the treasure hunters that mistakenly thought, oh, they must have built flood tunnel. I don't know, but maybe there were flood tunnels, but why would you need them if you got this thing?
Or did the creation of the flood tunnels actually enhance or make bigger the solution channel?
Yes. Look at Barbara Duncan says right there. The solution channel should have existed when the treasure was deposited. Yes. Maybe they exploited, and maybe it's exploited by the makers. Could it be why they haven't found a way to disable the flood?
Ooh, I like that, Barbara.
Yes, yes, I agree. I think that's why they can't turn the water flow off. Natural system below.
Do you guys think that the concrete and wood vault is broken up, or do you think it's still intact down there?
I want to say broken up at this point.
It depends on how far it fell.
Yeah.
What kind of shit? I mean, underground, the wood's not going to rot underground because you need air, dry, water, whatever for wood to rot. So the wood's not going to rot underground in theory, but it is going to be affected by salt water. I
worry if it is intact, that would make it even harder to retrieve.
But easier to find.
That's
easier to find, but harder to retrieve. I think you're right. Yeah.
I think if they can map that solution channel at the bottom and find those mucky spots, to talk dirty again, those mucky spots, that mud, that sediment is going to, and the direction the water flows in, water's going to flow over top of a chest or a cabinet or a vault, and it's going to settle on the downstream side of that.
Yes.
So if you can find the sediment, go upstream from the sediment.
Yeah,
when hit the vault.
I worked for the San Antonio River Authority a number of years ago, and the scientists, the biologists, after rain events or flash floods, they would always come back from the field with arrowheads. And I'd ask them, how are you finding these arrowheads? And they go, oh, well, we go to, if there's a turn in the river and all that material that got pushed up to that turn, and we just dig through there and you'll find arrowheads. And
it flushes it basically.
Yeah. I'm kind of picturing they just need to find like you said, where would it collect? And I picture Aladdin's cave too. They need to get back in there and get in that muck.
Yeah.
But that top 160, 170 feet is basically, like Vanessa says, is Swiss cheese.
Yeah. And that's what bothers me about any kind of a treasure vault or anything like that. How many times has it been drilled into, or, they talked about that plug when they knocked that plug out and everything fell. Did it get destroyed at that point? Even more so than it was before. They found parchment paper.
What did Dr. Spooner hear?
Yeah, exactly.
Was that just backfill falling in, or
what did he hear? He heard something.
He heard something. He said it sounded like thunder in the distance, but it was coming from a well pipe. I don't know. But anyway, down 229 feet, and they finally got their bedrock that they were looking for.
Now, keep in mind, 10x is 235.
Yeah. And now we're at 229. It stopped at 233. That's what I wrote that down. Stopped at 233. 233. And the 10x is 235.
I'm telling you, they got to get back down 10x.
They do. And I think 10x is tied. I think they went down and they hit part of that solution channel. That's what's at the bottom of 10x.
So how many feet would it be from this J.5 whatever to 10x? 100 feet?
Yeah, probably at least 100 feet.
You were there. So 100, 150 feet, 200 feet?
Yes, I would say within 150, definitely.
That's nothing. They're drilling that deep now.
Yeah.
That's just a little walk across. 150 feet, 50 yards, 50 paces.
Yep. Yeah.
10x.
And remember, Brian Abbott put down his scan device down into that 10x, and he scanned down there. Now, remember, he said, according to what, I know, John Chatterton, Don't get me started on it.
Yeah, that's a whole new story.
Mr.
10%.
Yeah, he did 10% of it and said there was nothing down there. I think he's working to hide the treasure. I think that's part of his. No, I don't know.
He works for Charles.
Yeah, he works for Charles. But yeah, so I think that when Brian had put down that scanner and he scanned 10X, this was several seasons ago. He said at that time, going out both ends, north and south, was what looked to him like a tunnel or a pathway or an entrance on both ends, north and south. South would take you right to the money pit.
Yep.
So is that part of that channel? I think it is. I think they're connected. So I say put a biggest
you can't rule it out.
They can do down in there, get a cameras down there, get sonar down there, and then send a diver down in there.
Now that they're down 230, 228 in J.5, wouldn't it be a great time to throw some dye down 10X?
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Someone in the chat earlier said that the Roman coin, the Claudius one, reminded them of what a shiny object seen in 10X. I forget who said it. Am I remembering, and I don't know who he was talking to, but it was an old article and where Dan told the person that he thinks what's at the bottom of 10X has something to do with Jesus's mom, Mary. Does that ring a bell to anybody?
Oh,
I remember reading an article where he got real kind of like it has to do with Mother Mary. I don't know if he thinks she was down there. Does anybody in the chat know what I'm talking about? I was trying to find it just now, but I remember reading that and thinking like, man, I wonder why he thinks that. Sorry, all the talk about 10X got me back to that.
Yeah, I don't recall that.
The lore of 10X.
Okay, here's your homework assignment.
Right, I'm going to find what article.
Find that and bring it up next week.
Yeah, I don't imagine that I would have just.
So if 10X, just reading some of the comments there. So if 10X is say 10 feet higher in elevation than where J.5 is, 235 less 10 puts you at 225.
Yeah. You're still in that same area.
You're in the same neighborhood.
Yep.
Okay. Barbara.
9 hour podcast.
9 hour. Hey, I could talk about Oak Island for 9 hours.
This
is the magic of the podcast. We get to jam 42 minutes of TV into 2 hours.
Yes, exactly. That was hilarious.
And only 20 minutes of which is new.
So Barbara's confirming my memory. And I do remember Dan's wife being in the article. So Barbara says that Dan's wife thought she was in the swamp.
Oh, cool.
She thinks it was in one of the Maddie Blake shows. Okay, well, I'm gonna try and find that, Barbara. Thank you.
Interesting. Yes, please. Yeah, dig that up. That's your homework assignment. You guys all remember this because I'm gonna forget next week. He won't have it.
I got mine homework done last week, so someone else's turn this week.
All right, I'll write it down here.
Homework. Yeah, listen, I want to know. I want to know about that. So yeah, please remind us. It's funny. I don't know how many of you all do this, but if you go to History Channel and you can go and watch the old episodes back to season 1, season 2, season 3. Have any of you done that? Raise your hand if you've done that in the chat. And you go back and you watch some of this stuff and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot all about that. There's so many things in there that that I've forgotten that they have covered. And it's really interesting to go back and see that. Yes. Yeah. Art says he's done it. Hey Art, how you doing? So let's keep moving here. Next time, I tell you, this next episode is going to be a pretty good one, I think too. One of the bones were found. Yeah, I remember that, Karen. Yeah, absolutely. I won't give any spoilers about David Neeson's presentation of the fibers, but it is a must watch. All right, cool. Thank you. I think it will be good.
We're going to get some fiber in our historical diet.
He'll be here always. Your waitress. Next time. Okay, so they're working in the swamp. And what do they find? some stuff like slate. It looks like slate to me. And
hey, you know what that looks like?
it looks like another vault.
Mm-hmm.
Or some sort of a platform. Looks like there's a beam right over here, and this slate rock. There's another look at it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it almost looks like another paved area, or possibly another vault area.
Could be another dock, or yep,
Mm-hmm.
some sort of crib structure. Yep.
Yeah. David who? Yeah, David who? I don't know. What David are we talking about? I don't know. Tomorrow night, 7:30. You guys be here. Seth, are you going to be able to make it?
Yes.
Okay,
I will.
good. Tom and I, Seth. So you're going to have 4 of us to listen to, but we're here to listen to David. So.
I want to hear what David's got to say.
Yeah, I'll be quiet. I don't want to let David talk.
No. So yeah, that's going to be. I can't wait to see what they're finding in the swamp over there. When we went by in the tram when I was doing the Oak Island tour, and we went by in the tram. We were not allowed to take any pictures over there. Where they had been working in this area in the swamp. So I was a little disappointed with that. You could look over there, but you couldn't take any pictures. And then they find this little jewel. Now, this was when we saw on the season, the whole season promo that they had done, and they showed this, metal or the pinpointer in his hand and finding something in there that was metal. And then we saw then they showed the Roman coin, which, fancy editing there on Prometheus's part. Thank you. But now we're going to get to see what was truly in now you see what's in his hand. He's holding crushed bedrock in his hand there from the sonic drill. And this piece of whatever this metal was found in that crushed bedrock right there. So, and this is it down here in this. Now, you heard him talking about a coin, and there's some sort of a pattern on it. So, Tom, looking at this and spending some time with it today, what do you think, Tom?
It looks too thick at the back end for a coin.
Yeah, it kind of does. It's got this big, thick edge on it.
Right. Now, it could be because it's smushed or crushed or whatever. I think Pete said it might be silver. Okay. Well, it could be silver. To me, it looks more like it's probably like something like a lead seal. Because those lead seals had stamps imprinted on them so that people would know if the seal was tampered with. And you can see that there is some kind of a pattern on there.
Yeah, you can see
what it
something.
is. I first thought of Dave Neeson looks like coconut trees or something.
Oh yeah.
But what it is actually, I don't know. But there's a crushed lead seal.
Yep.
See how it's thick at the back?
Mm-hmm. It does have a very thick side.
Seal folds over. There's another one. Now, I'm not saying that's the actual seal that's there, but just examples that I went in and got from the 1300s, 1500s, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And seals have been used for thousands of years, lead seals.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I mean, it would be really cool if it's lead. They could try and date that as well.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping for right here. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you've got that. If it is lead, will it date similar to the piece they just found on lot 4? Will it, if it's lead, will it date anywhere near the lead cross and the not barter token? I don't know, but I'm really curious to see what this is. Now, here's the other thing. Regardless of what it is, it's a little chunk of metal that is rounded. So it's obviously been made by mankind or formed by mankind.
No question.
And it's down on the top of the, I'm gonna guess and say it wasn't in the bedrock, but laying on top of the bedrock. Why is it down there?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it down there? Are they getting close?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be a good episode. I can't wait. We'll see what it turns out to be, but I don't know.
Let's wait and see.
Wait and see. Is this the one? Is this the thing that has Laird all excited. Remember, he said that they found something this past summer. They found something on the island that has him thinking that, yes, for the first time, he's kind of leaning towards, yes, there could have been a treasure here. I forget his actual, it was a cat, or it was somebody that was at the folks that were at the Oak Island Con that we had in September might remember what his exact words were, but he was very
something happened, and he's getting more
something was found that has changed his mind about Oak Island.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's not a treasure hunter; he's an archaeologist.
Yep, and he's show me the artifact, show me the proof.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he's, and that's fair. That's what archaeologists do, right? That's what they do.
Yep. Laird said it made him a believer. Thank you.
There you go. And that's a statement.
Yeah, it's a big statement from Laird. That's a huge statement from Laird. Yeah. So,
if you ask Laird about Samuel Ball, right? Everybody common knowledge. Samuel Ball was a cabbage farmer. Laird's the first one that'll tell you there is no evidence to support the fact that Samuel Ball ever farmed a single cabbage in his entire life.
Yes, that's true.
I'm a cabbage farmer.
There you go.
Yeah, see? Yeah. Where's your evidence?
You don't need it. Trust me.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Well, that's what we got for you tonight, folks. I'm telling you what. This season, I think, we're going to find that they have found more. Will they find the treasure? Did they find the treasure? I don't know. Did we see an armored truck driving across the island? I didn't.
Trucks with tarps over them.
Yes. That's true. And I always said if they find the treasure, they're not going to take it off in an armored truck. It's going to be in the back of a budget rented truck or something like that. Nobody knows. And I did see one go across the island one day. So, but anyway. We're looking forward to next week, but I'm really looking forward. Before we get there, I'm looking forward to in the trunk of the 1940 Buick. I don't know. It would be sagging though. I think it'd
getaway car.
It'd be dragging its butt across the causeway. I think in that case, but yeah. So looking forward to tomorrow night, folks. David Neeson, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have a lot of fun and a lot of interesting. So put on your learning cap. As I've always said, this podcast is here because I want to learn. And I want to share that with all of you in the process. And I don't have all the answers. A lot of times we get answers from you guys in the chat. That's why we do these live, because I want to be able to interact with each and every one of you guys. So thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it very much. Tom Burns, Seth Bridges, Linda, Jan, thank you all for being making this thing happen. It really takes a team, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah, 5:30 Pacific time, and we'll be here with David Neeson.
And to all our friends in the US of A, from the friends in Canada, have a good Thanksgiving if we don't see you tomorrow night.
Tom? Yep. And we'll be back again next week to Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. But don't forget, tomorrow night, be here for that. David Neeson. And for that, we'll say goodnight. We'll catch you next time right here on the J Free 906 podcast.